I'd like to call to order the July 15th, 2026 meeting of the Public Works Advisory Committee. Can we get a roll call?
Kevin Watlett.
Present.
Mary Lallo.
Present.
Bill Fath.
Present.
George Robin.
Present.
Scott Peterson.
Present.
Pam Hobbs.
Present.
Bob Gallick.
Present.
Chad Dagley.
Excused.
James Myers.
Present.
Wendy Prakop.
Present.
Councilman Wilcox.
Present.
All right, can we get the Pledge of Allegiance? Bill, you want to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everybody, we got an agenda in front of us for tonight. Does anybody have anything they need to move around, need moved, changed? Can I get a motion for approval?
Move to approve. Second.
Second. All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? We're going to now move on to approval of the minutes from the June 17th meeting. I wasn't here, but I
Move
did watch
to
it, and it looks like everything's good, so motion to approve?
Move to accept.
You want to give me a motion?
Move that we accept.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, move on to citizen comments. Do we have any citizens that would like to comment tonight? I don't see any citizens to comment. New business. We're going to talk about the water sewer project update. Sean is going to come up.
All right. Thanks for having me. I guess last time we got together was out at the plants for the tour, and we kind of walked through some of our projects out there when we were taking that little tour of the plants a couple months ago. So back again to give a few more updates on where we're at with a lot of moving parts out in our plants and our systems in town with the water distribution, water plant, wastewater plant, and collection systems. So let me go ahead and jump into these. So kind of updates from the last go arounds I did it with this, and water treatment side, we got one project under construction and one project under design. The RO, which is reverse osmosis, which we use for softening at the treatment plant, is the main project there. In the design, we got a pre-oxidation project under design right now. So as far as the distribution side of the water, we've got well 3 and 4, which is water tower right here by Main Street, McDonald's, and then the one kind of behind Child's Tire on Service Road is water tower number 4. Those two are kind of undergoing some chemical feed improvements. And then in design, we got a Brookside Forest water main extension under design right now. So go ahead and jump into some of those, a little more detail here, and show you where we're at. The biggest project we got going on right now is our water plant project. It's about a $10 million upgrade. Probably, I just not quite halfway through construction, I think. So it's scheduled to be complete early next year. But right now, the main pieces we got going on is some chemical feed tank replacements. So you can see, actually this week of the plant, we actually moved part of the wall of the north side of the building to actually remove one of the old chemical tanks to put in a new sodium bisulfite tank to increase our sodium bisulfite capabilities. So the old tank that was removed was our sulfuric acid tank, which was no longer in use. So you can see a couple pictures here where we show, I think Monday they took the sheet metal off the building on the wall, north wall. They actually got that tank installed today. They'll be putting the sheeting back up tomorrow, hopefully before the storms get here. So, but kind of a nice little upgrade to our chemical feed system out there. The other main projects that the contractor is currently working on is a lot of electrical conduit routings for the new equipment, a lot of new what they call VFD, variable frequency drives, which we use to regulate the speed of our pumps. So the picture on the left here is our high service pump room. They're running all new conduits to all those pumps. And then the picture on the right is one of the new VFD drives that just got installed. So those are very more energy efficient process for our plant instead of just running a pump at 100% speed and regulating flow with valves. This actually controls the speed of the pump. So if you can turn that pump down, you don't need to pump as much. You can, save electricity by not having to run it at 100%. So not much really has changed since the last probably update on the pre-oxidation project. We're just working through design with the engineer on that. They're working through getting the 30% design submitted to me, which should be coming in probably this month. But once we get to that step, then we'll move on to we'll review those documents with the engineer and offer any comments we want to see changed, and then move on to the next step, which will be 60% design. It might go too fast, or if you got questions, feel free to shout them out. But distribution side, this is the well 3 and 4 project, chemical feed upgrades. Again, this is the tower along Main Street. There's a well house there, and then the tower I call it Child's Tower, up North Outer Road there. So they're currently at well 3. So we didn't want to shut both wells off at the same time to do these projects. So we actually have well 3 turned off right now. Well 4 is still in operation, just because we're in higher summer demands with the water and the temperatures and the dryness, just as the season goes. So it's shooting to be done here in the next few months. It's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks each well to get the chem feed improvements in. It's new sodium hypochlorite tanks with transfer pumps and metering pumps, and then a new LAS, liquid ammonium sulfate tank with transfer pumps and metering pumps. That'll convert our chlorine disinfection product to a chloramine sal system, which will match our water plant and match all our other distribution sources in town. So it'll provide a better water quality consistency through our system. So you can see they got some of the tanks and pads poured inside the building on the left there, picture on the right. They'll be pouring that concrete pad tomorrow. That's an outdoor storage tank. It's a larger tank for storage of sodium hypochlorite. So they'll be pouring a concrete pad there, I think, tomorrow to set that tank on. So once that gets in, it's a lot of just plumbing and piping and hooking up the pumps and stuff to the new SCADA system and get it online. So once they get it on, I think they're shooting to be done, have it started up towards the end of the month. Then we'll turn off number 4 well and then start the whole same process there. They're identical systems at each well. So let's see. Brookside Forest Water Main. This one's getting close to wrapping up design. We've got 60% drawings here recently from the engineer on that. We've reviewed those. I think they're now proceeding towards 90% drawings. My project manager, Max, is handling this project, so I don't have all the details, but I know we got these drawings and got reviewed with them. So this one extends the water main, a new main from Progress West Parkway over to the Brookside Forest area on the other side of Prue Creek, just to give a redundant water supply to that area. Right now there's one main that feeds that neighborhood to the west side of Prue Creek, and so if that main would happen to have a failure at some point, we would put a lot of people out of water. So this is just kind of a redundant source for that area. So kind of a backup. So and back onto the sewer side of the world. A couple projects in construction at the treatment plant and a couple in design. The biggest one, which actually is done pretty much now, there's just some handful of punch list items remaining, is our solids handling improvement project. That was our new headworks facility that we recently constructed. I think you guys took a tour of that here last couple months ago, I guess it's been. The grit system project is well in the middle of construction right now. That one's moving along well. Odor control upgrades is about ready to get started. We're waiting on the equipment to show up on it, but we'll get into details here in a second. The two in design is our sludge dewatering improvements and a wastewater treatment plant improvement project, which design's complete. We're just allocating the funding for it now in the future budget years. So, but collection side, Prue Creek Lift Station projects in construction, and 3 design projects: lift station upgrades, sanitary sewer improvements, and north lift station upgrades. So let's get into those. So again, this is the one that we just pretty well wrapped up. Like I said, there's a handful of loose punch list items still remaining, so I'll probably take this project off next go around. But it turned out to be a good project. That's our new headworks building on the left, picture on the left, and then the dumpster room on the right, picture where the screenings get disposed of into. It's doing really well. Like I said, just loose ends that we need to wrap up with the contractor and close out that project. So, grit system is the big project right now under construction. Contractor actually is doing a coating system inside the structure. This week they started on that. Take a few weeks to get a whole new epoxy coating system installed. Once that gets on, and then the new stack tray assemblies, which you can see in that picture there, gets installed, and get it all plumbed together. There's a cover that'll actually go over the system as well, just to help reduce potential odors from the facility or the system, and protect it from UV degradation. So it's looking like it's going to be completed here in the next probably month or two. So once the coating's done, it should come together pretty quick. All the other equipment, which I think I got a couple more pictures here. Yeah. The grit classifier equipment, which is takes the grit out of the chamber and kind of washes and compacts it and dumps it in the dumpsters. The machine on your left there, and then another picture on the right is a more recent picture from this week from when they're actually removing the old coating. So I think they've got it pretty well done, and I think they're getting ready to start prepping the surface for the new coating here next day or two. So, but yeah, it should once the coating's on, it should go together pretty quick, because it's just kind of a drop in place. I think the cover is the only thing that might be a little delayed. I think the fiberglass company is saying that there's a hard time getting some resin reagent. So, but that's pretty minimal. Like I said, it comes on at the end and just kind of covers the whole tank. So, all right, let's see what else we got. Sludge dewatering improvements. This is actually really neat going on right now at our plant. So this one's still in design, but we're actually piloting some of the equipment we're looking at for the project. So this is where we're going to take our sludge, our biosolids sludge from the facility, dewater. Right now we currently have an old belt filter press and or two newer, I'll say, screw presses that currently do the dewatering for us. So this will replace the screw presses. We got a project with the equipment company for the belt filter press to kind of rebuild it here coming up in September, but this will actually replace the screw presses that aren't really performing for our sludge dewatering. So these are called centrifuges. So it basically spins really fast, separates the sludge from the water, and then it's got a scroll on the inside that actually takes the sludge cake out one end of the system, and then the water goes out the other end. Very efficient process, a lot of throughput through the machine on a very small footprint. It's a very enclosed system, so you don't have water or spraying. People aren't breathing it, smelling it, wearing it home, at the end of the day. So it's efficient and improves the environment of that area over there in the biosolids building. If you've ever been in our biosolids building, which I'm sure some of you have, sometimes you wear that odor home to you. So we got a company called OFFallonTV. So the picture on your left there, you can see their tractor trailer system. It's their pilot system that's on site right now this week doing its pilot performance testing. They're performing so far pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with the product that it's putting out. The picture on the right is the inside of the trailer. So I don't know if I can point with this. Let's see. You see that? Yeah, that's the centrifuge right there that does all the work. There's a motor at each end. Every manufacturer kind of has their own uniqueness to the system. This one has a dual motor setup, a motor on this end and another drive motor on the other end, one that spins the bowl, one that spins the scroll, they call it. Like I said, it's all contained in this unit, box kind of here. So there's actually a spare bowl and scroll assembly right here. So that's the kind of the internal workings right there that spins inside the machine. That one's got just a little different, what they call beach angle on it, so that when different applications, they can change that out to I think one had a 10-degree beach and the other one has a 20-degree beach, which is the tapered portion at the tip of it. There it is. So for different applications, for different types of material or whatever the case may be. So it just came to us from Dallas. It's headed to Pennsylvania, I think, next week for some piloting out there. Excuse me. Once this company's done, we have 3 other companies coming in the next few weeks. We've got a company called Centrisis will be on site next, followed by GEA, and then followed by Flatweg. So all good machines, they all have their uniqueness. Like I said, Centrisis, they're a hydraulic driven machine with what they call a gear drive assembly. I can't remember the name of it. Their fancy gear drive system is called. GEA has their own uniqueness, hardened flights or whatever. So they all have their selling points, but we're going to put them through their operational tests and performance testing at the site. Kind of talk to the operators and see what's good and bad about them, what they like, and kind of learn about it, and then actually base our bid. Once we get them all tested out and we get the reports, performance reports, we'll actually evaluate all those performance parameters, take a look, and then base a bid around one of the manufacturers that we want to proceed with. We'll still have the all equal alternative, that we can allow alternate bids, but if they do come in at that time, we'll have to make them, if it's some unknown company or company that didn't pilot, they'd have to perform a performance test at that point before we'd accept them. So, but we're looking to get this bid out later this year and start construction next year. So let's see. Again, that one's kind of top of my brain because that one been working on that pilot for a while. So, motor control upgrades. This is one. It's actually been in construction for a little while, but there's a really decent lead time on some of that equipment. So all the submittals been done. We worked through all that. We've got the equipment on orders being fabricated. It's supposed to be showing up around October, I've heard. So contractor will start mobilizing in September, start some pre-demo work and getting prepped up for the new equipment to show up. So not really a whole lot to update there. No pictures yet, so because there's nothing to show. So, but it's coming. So, and then the wastewater treatment plant improvement project. This one's actually design's pretty well done. It's just we're allocating, I think, some funding next year for this to start a rehab of one of our clarifiers. We're waiting on the funding to come into place. So, and collection side of the system. This is our Prue Creek lift station upgrade, EQ basin project. Contractor should be remobilizing here. I think he said he's going to do this week or next week to start work on actually inside the basin to start building the swale, some concrete structures out there, and then install the diesel pump system that'll pump the flow back to the lift station that takes us to the plant. So. And lift station upgrades, not a whole lot update here. I know that the engineers come out, done some survey work, they've done some 3D scanning, and now they're kind of taking that and going to the design stage now. And Max is my project manager on this project, so he's been working with them, but nothing submitted just yet. They got their survey done here recently and working through the survey data and getting it built into some drawings. And then sanitary sewer improvements. The updates here, there's 3 pieces of this project: Country Life and Barrington Relief Sewers. Those are designs complete. We're actually, 90%, we're actually acquiring easements for those right now. We went through the council process to get it okay to go for the easement. So that's where we're at right now on those 2 relief sewer projects. The Kellerman flow meter study, we've looked at the flow meters, actually came up with a plan to install a couple flow meters in our system to help us calculate our bill for District 2, and we bid that out with an RFP, selected a manufacturer, a company to do that flow metering service for us, and that's working on getting the agreement in place, and we'll be taking that to council probably the next few meetings here to get them under contract to install 2 flow meters in our system. So they'll be kind of over here, I guess, I don't know, one's off of Hoff Road where we receive a flow from a force main from District 2, and the other one is the District 2 sewer that actually goes under Lake St. Louis. We're looking to install a flow meter. There's 2 potential manholes there. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not. I got to use the pointer here. 2 potential manholes in this area, just on the north side of 70 from Lake St. Louis there, where all that District 2 flow comes to us. So we're looking to, like I said, 2 options there. And we're working with the company on which one they prefer, and then one up here just off Hoff Road where a force main comes in just upstream. So that would help us simplify our kind of confusing calculation for invoice billing for District 2 flows. So, and one more project, I think. Yeah, North Lift Station. Still in design, or pretty much done design. We did a preliminary design, I guess, kind of look at alternatives, look at cost for each alternatives, and figure out the direction forward for the full-scale design here. come up with about a $2.6 million project to rehab the current station and then construct a separate station to actually, so this station uniqueness is it takes flow, it's actually inside the plant property. It takes some of the flow from home field and some other areas, and then it takes into the plant. But it also takes flow from our equalization basins on the property at the plant, and brings that in when we have high flow events. So when we get a rain event, we have to divert flow to maintain capacity at the plant. We shave it off into these EQ basins, and then when that rain event stops and it flows beside, we bring all that water back in and then send it to the plant. So right now, all that goes back to north, so it's kind of a balancing act with the flows, because we don't want to bring back too much and then start reshaving flow and get too high of a flow that will trigger our SCADA system to start reshaving flow. So this will actually put in a separate pump station that will actually be just specific for the EQ basin drainage system. So and separate that piece to the lift station, while also rehabbing the old lift station itself, because it was put in the 70s, and it's been rebuilt pumps and rebuilt valves and stuff, but it needs a full kind of once over and get new electronics. And I think the other piece too we want to do is bring up the electronics out, but from below grade to above grade, to get them out of that environment and get them more accessible, because it's not a fun little elevator ride down into that hole. So, and I think that should do it. Yep. Any questions? A lot of
Quick on dewatering. Are we paying the whole bill on the new system, or are we getting something returned from the screw presses that aren't performing?
No, the screw presses, and that comes a little bit before me, but no, they actually, they didn't perform initially. They blamed it, I think, on filamentous bacteria in our sludge and a few other things. We since then cleaned out our sludge tanks, and they were able to pass barely their performance after we cleaned out our sludge tanks and everything else. So there was no,
Okay.
further action after that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right. Okay. All right. Other questions? Bill?
Sean, that lift station you're talking about that needs to be replaced,
North Lift Station. Yeah.
right, what happens if that should go down completely?
We would be scrambling to pump out of the manhole upstream of it, because it actually doesn't take long to start backing up into people's homes. Just across 79 there in home field area, I think. So it's got about, and maybe an hour or less, depending on the flows and the rain, dry weather, rain wet. But it's not a whole lot of time before it'll start backing up. So yeah, we would have to set up some portable pumps to pump out of the structure upstream of it to put it into the plant or the EQ basin or something. So yeah, we'd have to bypass around it. So, but it has 3 pumps in it. They're working fine, and and it's built with redundancy inside the system. But yeah, I mean it's just a 1970s pump station that's buried in the ground, and it's been motors have been rebuilt over the years and kept up with, but it's just it's just needing it's an old, I don't want to say unsafe, but it's not a very fun. You got to take a little elevator down in the shaft to go down to all the pumps and get down to access to all that, and it's not a very good. Lift station designs come a long ways from then, the 70s, and there's a lot better and safer ways to build those, and that's what we're shooting for.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yep. James?
Regarding the pilot test you're doing on the centrifuge, you'd said you're also rehabbing the parallel belt press. Is there a reason you're going with 2 different technologies and instead of switching over entirely to the centrifuges, or is
Yes. So our flow rate, we're driven a lot by throughput on capacity. So right now we're maxed out on capacity with the 2 screws and the current belt press. It's about $500,000 to rebuild this belt press. It's about $1 million for a new one. A lot of our operators really like the belt press just because they know it, they can work on it. It's not unknown. You know, if a bearing, we can have it up and running within a short amount of time if a belt breaks or a bearing goes out. The centrifuges is you know, it's new technology to them, so there's some money is there, but I think it's got the throughput capacity that we want. So at the end of the day, when we get the 2 centrifuges and the belt press, we'll actually have 1 redundant machine at that point. Right now we have 0. So my vision is that the belt would be a redundant. So when we do have to, because those bowl and scroll assemblies, they'll last, I think, 7 to 10 years, depending on how operational conditions. But you'll have to eventually pull one out and send it off to the manufacturer, have them rebuild it, go through it and check it. And so that's when we'll, you know, during times of maintenance or whatever, we can fire the belt up, have it as our redundant source for that capacity that we want, and then still have the centrifuge as kind of our main piece.
So you anticipate in the near future, then the centrifuges will be the primary.
Correct.
And
yeah.
then,
So it'd either be, you know, if we went all centrifuges, it'd be 3 centrifuges, but then you're adding another $500,000 of equipment cost to that. So, you know, there is an option to basically take this belt press down to its frame with the manufacturer and rebuild it from the ground up, and it's pretty much a brand new machine, right? So you're talking, you know, $500,000 for that versus $1 million for a brand new either belt press or centrifuge to replace it. So it was a fiscally, you know, decision, plus, like I said, a little bit of comfort with our operators to have that, you know, redundancy and that comfort with that machine, you know, technology. So
at some point, though, the operators are going to be primarily operating the centrifuges.
correct, yeah.
But they'll get used to it then.
Yeah,
That's
and the more we get into this project, like now with this pilot on hand, we went and toured one in Jeff City. They just put in 2 new centrifuges up there. We went and toured their facility with a couple of our operators, and that helped a little bit. But I think now actually being on site with touching and playing with the screen and seeing how this thing works, I think they're slowly getting more and more comfortable. But it's just right now it's just unknown, you know. And there's a little bit of gun shyness just because of the screw presses, you know, too, that came in and they don't like at all. So so that's the other, you know, uneasiness.
that makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, thanks, Sean.
Yep, thank you guys.
All right, we're gonna move on to a 2026 construction project update, and Paul's here.
All right, good evening. My name is Paul Telemanchuk. I'm the project manager supervisor for the city of O'Fallon, here to present on our 2026 construction project. So just an update on projects we either have in construction or that we plan to have in construction by the end of this year, and kind of the traffic impacts to expect with these projects as well. So the first one here, Main Street Phase 2. If you've driven up and down Main Street, you've likely driven through this work zone. It's been going on for the past few months. Recently, they had performed the asphalt paving operation Monday, so we've got a nice new black surface out there now. So the limits of this project are from Terra Lane to Pittman. It includes the roadway resurfacing, an 8-foot wide path that's on the east side of the road, and then 5-foot wide sidewalk on the west side. Not all of the sidewalks were placed on the west side, just the parts that were not ADA compliant or not 5-foot wide. And then also as part of this, we are going to be taking down the Ameren poles, you know, along Main Street there. So we're going to underground all the electrics. So we're putting in underground conduits. And right now the contractor is actually placing the pads for transformers and switch gears, so that Ameren can come in and place that equipment and get the lines underground. So with that, path construction's current. We've pretty much pushed that path construction, that 8-foot path, as far as we can go until Ameren gets their poles out of the way. So with that, like I said, we've got the conduits in, we're working on the pad placement, and then Ameren's got to get in, put their lines underground, and then we have to do what's called these secondary connections, which are the connections between the transformers and the businesses. So we likely have about 2 months more of electrical work, essentially, to get these poles underground. Yeah, did a little picture magic there, took the poles away from Main Street. And then, so we're looking at about October for those poles to be out of there. So hopefully we can get it done sooner, but I would say October is where we're currently seeing the timeline fit. Next project here, Main Street Phase 3. So this one is Main Street from the railroad tracks to St. Joseph Avenue, and we have a roundabout that's going in at 3rd Street, have storm sewer improvements, sidewalk, path, lighting, utility relocations, some overlay, concrete repairs, and then a 2-way left turn lane that'll go from 3rd Street up to St. Joseph. So this one's actually currently out for bid right now. Bids are due August 12th, so we'll get those bids in, we'll review those, and then submit those to MoDOT and then our city council for approval. So by the time we get all those approvals, we're thinking that we would have a notice to proceed sometime in October of this year after we get all those approvals. So that's likely when the construction would begin. And we're looking at about a 9-month construction time frame. So looking to wrap up around July of 27. So I know, the question is like, how are you going to build this large roundabout? So I'll kind of go through kind of our current phasing plan on what we're bidding this out with. So there might be some changes based on the contractor coming in and having some suggestions to help maybe with traffic flow. But right now, sorry, this is just a full overview of the project. So we have the two-way turn lane right here. This is St. Joseph's over here. And then the railroad tracks obviously on this side. 3rd Street right there where the roundabout is. So the first phase we're looking at is working on the east side of Main Street. So Main Street would be cut down to 2 lanes, 1 lane northbound, southbound. We would put temporary signals in at 3rd Street to help with the school traffic and the church traffic there at 3rd Street. We'd separate off that work zone with some barricades and kind of channelize 2 lanes of traffic north and south on Main Street, and then work on that east side of the roundabout. So it's kind of 3 main chunks that we're looking at. So they're going to work on building this east side kind of on the City Hall side, and then we put some temporary asphalt in where the middle of the circle is. So this is kind of an overview of the area. So for this first phase, we'll have assigned detours out all around here. So that dashed line in the middle there, that's the railroad tracks. There's City Hall's right here, St. Mary's, and then Assumption Church is up here. So we've kind of got that work zone shown right here. So the sign detour is going to take traffic to get to Main Street or to O'Fallon City Hall is going to be kind of what it's set up now with the front entrance closed. So you're going to come down Elm Street and around to City Hall. Obviously, there's some other ways you can get here too, taking Sondren. But this is going to be the sign detour route for any traffic heading north or south on Main Street there to take Elm during this phase of the construction. So once that's complete, that eastern side, we'll flip and we'll start working on that western side up by Assumption. Again, we'll have 1 lane of traffic each direction. We'll switch those temporary signals around to go towards the St. Mary's side. And then, so you can kind of see in the middle of that roundabout will be temporary asphalt so that we can have traffic kind of going in a straight line through that work zone. So the proposed detour here, we'll have a sign detour again. Proposed detour is going to be taking Elm to Civic Park and around to Civic Park Drive to get to Assumption Church. One of the reasons we're going down to Elm Street is because it is signalized. Helps with the amount of traffic coming out on Main Street. And with Main Street being down to 1 lane each direction, you'll have pretty steady stream of cars most likely coming through there. So detouring up to Elm during this portion of work, we thought would be the best case scenario for the traffic in the area. And then kind of the final phase here, that's when we'll have to take out all that temporary asphalt that was in the middle of the roundabout. So that's when we'll work on the center area and then also these medians. So we'll have one lane each direction kind of going around the roundabout at this point. This would be the last phase and most likely the shortest phase of the three. And then we'll have to tie in the Mary Street up here. So there'll be a little bit of disruption there up at Mary Street as well. Pretty much the same detour as the previous phase, just with some one-way streets over there near Assumption. We'll adjust the signage around to help traffic get around that area. So the next project we have here, that was all for the Main Street project. Next one we have is Eggering Drive reconstruction. So this is from City Hall to Westhoff Park. This is a full reconstruction of the roadway, basically from the railroad tracks up to just south here of, I think this is Eggering, and then it turns to Shepherd Drive going into the park. But that's a full reconstruction of that roadway right here. And then with that, we are installing sidewalk that's going to connect, City Hall, Senior Center, and then it'll connect all the way over to Westhoff Park. So it'll provide a good connection there for pedestrians. This one is also currently out for bid. This one opens the day before the Main Street project, but it's also anticipated to start in October. So I know what you're thinking now, hey, you're going to block off this side of the entrance of, City Hall, and you're going to block the back entrance of City Hall. But, with this Eggering project, we will maintain access into and out of City Hall from this east entrance. So the western entrance may be continue to be shut off as it is now, and then we will maintain access on this this eastern entrance of City Hall. This one's also, it's anticipated to start in October. We're looking at more of a 6-month time frame for this project. So I'll go into a little bit of the traffic control with this too, because this is a full reconstruction. So with that, it's going to be pretty significant impact over that little stretch of road. So we will have a signed detour. So right on this picture, City Hall's over here, Eggering Drive right here, and then Westhoff Park's over here. This is St. Matthews. And up at the top of the screen here, that is Tom Ginevra. So the idea here is that we would detour traffic, anyone coming that's going down St. Matthews and going down through Eggering, we'd have them continue on and then take T.R. Hughes down and around to Wabash there. The section of Eggering, we do plan to keep, local traffic will be maintained, but we plan to keep one-way, the idea is to keep at least one-way traffic going northbound. So if you're coming from the south and going north, you'll be able to get through Eggering and then continue on up St. Matthews. But anyone coming south on St. Matthews going towards Eggering, we're going to detour them around. So because we have to rip out that entire road to rebuild it. So that's kind of the plan we're looking at now, but access to this little section right here will maintain in and out to City Hall at all times. So Tom Ginevra North Cool Springs roundabout. So this one is not out for bid yet. We're currently working through some MoDOT approvals before we can get this one officially out to bid. But we plan to have this out to bid hopefully in September. Also a 9-month construction time frame for this project. This one is going to follow a very similar pattern to the Main Street one. We've kind of done that process with another roundabout that we did up by 64 and Highway DD. Up there. So again, cutting the traffic down to one lane each direction. In this case, it'll be east and west, one direction east, one direction west, while they build the north side of this roundabout. And they will keep the North Cool Springs access will be open during this phase of the project. And then we'll have to switch traffic and build that south side of the roundabout. There'll be a little bit of temporary pavement in the roundabout to allow that to happen. Now this phase shows Cool Springs blocked off the entire time. Most likely it'll be held open until we have to cut that off for the connection, because it'll need to be connected into that roundabout, which at that point we'll have to detour traffic back down North Cool Springs out to Cool Springs Industrial to TR Hughes. And then again, third phase is going to be, just that center portion, taking out that temporary pavement and then constructing the pavement and the medians for the project. And those are the only projects those are the projects we have coming up in 26. So those are going to be the most current ones you'll be seeing here pretty soon. And that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, happy to answer those now.
So quick timeline on Cool Springs.
Yes.
When is the anticipated closing of Cool Springs being able to get to Tom Ginnever?
But, so that would be towards the end of the later stages of that project. So we're looking to have this one out to bid September. Hopefully we get the construction started late this year. So, I'm guessing April maybe.
Okay.
It might close.
But not concluded till August, right?
Probably not, yeah, because it's a full, we're going to have to, the grades are changing for that roundabout, so we have to take out a big chunk of that Cool Springs.
So Councilman Wilcox, you have a 4th of July problem. Because that's the only way.
Well,
Anybody who lives on the north side of town can get anywhere when the festival's going on.
and we have run into that before on a previous project too. We'll work through that. That is a good point.
And even on the Main Street one, parade, blah, 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 is in the middle of that. So I'm not saying we can't figure that out, but just keep that in mind, that you've got multiple closures that happen for that 1 week of time. TR Hughes, you can't get up it, so.
Yeah, and with, 9-month construction timeframes and, limited working in winter hours, it's hard to avoid, especially, around 4th of July. But the Main Street project, with the 9 months, we're looking at having hopefully most of that, it should be pretty much done by July. Because that would be the 9-month time frame. If we get started in October, it would put us finishing right around July.
They're all okay projects. Cool Springs, I've stressed my wonderfulness of that one. The rest of them, whatever. But you're doing 3 major projects all at the same time that impact ingress and egress from the north side of town. And every one of the streets that is under construction are streets that I drive on a very regularly basis, almost daily. So Scott, you're going to get some phone calls. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm just curious, is that a realistic timeline, really 9 months to get from start to finish?
That is a realistic timeline. Hopefully we can beat that, but it is realistic. A lot of times, we'll run into, there'll be utility things that will push a little bit, but I think 9 months is a pretty decent time frame for these projects. Now, like I said, hopefully we can get it done quicker, and it really depends, because on North Cool Springs and Tom Ginnever and really Main Street, we have coordination with like Ameren. They've got to move some poles. So a lot of times getting on their schedule can, make the project either go quicker or kind of drag it out a little longer. But I would say 9 months is going to be pretty close to what we're looking at for these.
And then Kevin had a good point on 4th of July, you know, all the floats, they turn down Cool Springs to get back to City Hall. If that's closed July 4th, they're gonna have to find an alternate route to get back.
Yeah, ideally, we'll have it open July 4th. You know, we've had it closed before, and we don't want it closed. You know, we're gonna make efforts to get that open. And, you know, maybe we'll look at, you know, maybe we can look at doing some kind of temporary pavement there, but, you know, in an ideal world, we aren't gonna impact the 4th of July festivities. You know, if we can get this done faster, we can get that connection made, you know, maybe we won't have that impact. But, yes, definitely with we have talked about the 4th of July festivities, and we kind of know the detour routes, obviously the parade route through Main Street. So those were taken into consideration, but we do have, you know, with these projects, they are federally funded, so we have timelines that we have to get projects started by. So trying to stick within those and make sure we keep these on schedule.
One other quick question on this picture, the development that's happening next to the football field currently is, I thought that was going to tie into this roundabout. Is that not tying into the roundabout?
So with our project, we're not tying it in. We did coordinate with that developer, so when they go to build, they can tie into it.
Okay.
So the grades are appropriate, and we've got it set up so that they can accommodate their development when it happens.
Okay. All right. Wendy?
Paul, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind going over the detours again, affecting like Main Street.
So Main Street on the first detour here. So let's see, City Hall, it's right over here. So this area right here is kind of where we're going to be working on the east side of Main Street. And so traffic that is trying to get to either St. Mary's Institute or the city of O'Fallon will be detoured down Elm Street and then up Sonder and to our east entrance there, over by the senior center. So that'll be the first phase when we're working on the east side. So when we flip and we go to the west side over by Assumption side, that is when we will detour traffic going down 3rd Street. So like if you're normally heading down Main Street and you head west on 3rd Street off of Main Street, we're going to have you go down to Elm Street and around Elm Street to Civic Park Drive and then down Mary Street and back around. Because once you get off of Civic Park Drive, we have some one-way streets there, but we'll have signage to direct traffic around there. And that will pretty much be the same for the last phase too, when we do this little tie-in, just a few minor tweaks, because we will have Mary Street is going to be cut off as when we tie it in at the very end. And then did you want me to run through Eggering here again?
No, thank you. No, that's it. I
Okay.
just wanted to know about.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay. Bob?
On phase 1, are there any communication facilities on those poles?
For the Main Street Phase 2? There are. So Brightspeed and Charter are both on there, and we've coordinated with both of them as well. I think they were they're still putting in the conduit, so they're still on there, but there will be some coordination. Ameren's got to get their lines under too. So we are coordinating with those facilities as well, yeah.
Okay. Bill? Is you?
On the first one, that East Terra and Pittman, can you explain that again?
East Terra.
I think it was the first one you had construction project up there.
Oh, okay, so over Main Street Phase 2 here, where we're going from Terra Lane to Pittman? Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, what were you wondering on this one? I'm sorry.
Can you explain that again? That is East Terra, correct?
That's Main Street.
This is Main Street. So Main Street from Terra Lane to Pittman Street. So this is on Main Street, along,
Kind of close to getting done. Ish.
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Daily out there, there's usually one lane traffic. They're doing sidewalks and they just paved it and
Yeah, so,
gonna be waiting on poles to get.
yeah, the daily lane closures will be less and less. There will still be a few here and there to accommodate the electrical work, but a majority of the path work is done, same with the paving, so.
Okay, Scott?
Yeah, hi, Paul. The Eggering Road project, just a question about the sidewalk. You mentioned the sidewalk, will that be a multi-use path from City Hall to the park, or?
So that one's actually, it'll be a 6-foot sidewalk. Just based on the constraints of that area, we couldn't get a larger path in. It's, you know, if you travel that area, the houses are kind of high off the road. Driveway's already pretty steep, so when you put even a 6-foot path in there, it makes those driveway angles really steep. So there's just not a lot of room between. You can kind of even see on this picture here between this house and the street. So if we were to put a 10-foot path in there, it'd take quite a bit of their front lawn. So this is just a 6-foot.
Thanks.
Okay. George?
Yeah, Paul, it sounded like you were saying during the presentation that the Main Street is going to be like no longer a way ingress or egress from City Hall?
Yes, so there is, sorry, and the picture probably didn't quite show that. There's some work that's going to occur at the entrance of Main Street. We're reconstructing the entrance there. So likely it will be shut down for a period of time. It won't be shut down for the entire project, but, you know, the main detour is going to be heading down Elm Street.
Okay, will that be in conjunction with the work on Eggering?
Will it be, you mean opened or closed for the whole project?
You know, to have that egress and ingress into City Hall.
Yeah, so that'll be maintained off of, the primary ingress and egress of City Hall will be like it is right now with the front entrance closed. It's going to be off of that east entrance, off of Eggering. So with the Eggering project, as part of that, we're going to keep access to and from City Hall from right there let me just zoom up here. Yeah, so right here, that'll be two-way in and out of City Hall. So when we're detouring people down Elm and then up, you know, they'll be able to get to City Hall off that east entrance, in and out.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Good update. All right, we're going to move on to acceptance of the Public Works and Engineering monthly reports for the month of May. Can I get a motion for approval?
I make a motion for approval.
All right, Wendy, second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, discussion of future agenda items for meetings. Are we ready to do a tour of the new building?
Yes, we'll do our next meeting at the new building.
Okay. Cool. Mary, we're going to do a meeting at the new building. The new building. We're going to go to the new building.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you get to drive the dump truck. Okay, we have a few other things on here. Anybody got anything else they want to get added in for? I guess it'll be September. Is the plan just to tour the facility, not really do a meeting, right? I'm assuming?
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
Right. Okay, anybody got anything they want to add in? I mean, nobody wants to have Wade talk to us? Okay, all right. All right, well, if nobody's got anything else, we'll go ahead and move on to closing comments. I'm going to start down with Wendy.
I'd like to thank Sean and Paul for their wonderful presentations this evening. I know they take time out of their evening to come by and speak with us, but I know I truly appreciate it. Also, I wanted to comment on the July 4th. I was a driver on the golf carts, and so many people appreciate that service. And I thought the fireworks were excellent, and I thought everything went pretty smoothly considering all the people that were there that evening. Thank you.
Pam?
Yeah, thank you both for your presentations. Paul, thanks for going through all those detours so that we could get a look and make comments on those.
All right, Scott?
Yeah, same here. Thanks for the presentations. They were very good and informative.
Bill?
Sean and Paul, thanks again for the updates. Good job.
Mary?
Everything was very interesting, and you have a lot of projects and a lot of investments, and I just wish everybody well.
George?
Yeah, Paul, Sean, it was great. Wonderful to see everything that's going on within the city to try to make it a better place to live. Also, what Mary was saying about 4th of July, I know that Environmental Services was all in the spot. They were on the job, working hard just to keep everything nice and clean for the festival.
All right, James?
Thanks for the presentation. It's nice to see more roundabouts. And Sean, if you need some help with the pilot test, I used to do that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Hey, Bob?
Sean and Paul, thank you. Appreciate the details. And if you need any help with Amber, let me know. I know all the players, 35-year retired from there. So if you need help, let me know.
That is good to know. I'm filing that. Anyway, first off, Bob, welcome. I wasn't here last month whenever you started on the committee. Welcome aboard. You're going to be a very good added asset. Councilman Wilcox, welcome to this committee. I wasn't here to formally greet you. It's not like I can't go walk to your house and beat on your door, but and with that, thanks for the presentations tonight for me. And I'll now, Councilman Wilcox, you got anything?
No, thanks, Sean. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. And thanks to all of our committee members who volunteer. Appreciate all your time that you put into this, and looking forward to all these construction projects on the roads. All of them are in Ward 1, it looks like, so it's awesome.
Yeah, maybe. Mr. Montgomery, would you like to talk?
Oh, you know I would. No, just thank you all for coming. Wendy and all of those that volunteered at the Heritage and Freedom Fest. Thank you all. I heard nothing but good things about it. And we can't do it without people volunteering to drive carts and pick up trash and everything that occurs. There's a lot of parks and a lot of staff throughout the night getting everything ready for the next day. So, but it's a great event, and just thank you all for coming.
All right, Mr. Bender.
A couple of things. One, we have a contractor working night hours to do some techcrete on Billow Creek and T.R. Hughes. So if you see cones out there, that's what they're doing, and some of the work they've done is already looking good. The other thing, just an update on the Public Works project. We already established that we're going to have our meeting there on August 19th. We have had our schedule slip a little bit on the construction. We were planning on moving in on August 10th. We've pushed that back a week on August 17th. So if you are noticing the numbers there, we were planning on about a full week to move. So we'll be somewhat in the process of moving on the 19th. But we should have a full project to show you. And then the fleet building is even a little bit further behind, but I think we'll still be able to give you a good tour of the fleet building. I don't know if they'll be moving in yet or not. The biggest holdup right now is the concrete parking lot. We're about 10% done with the parking lot, and it should be nearly complete at this point. We have about $2 million worth of concrete work that has to occur in about a 3 to 4 week period, and that's going to be very tough for them to do. But on the good side, the inside of the building, Public Works building is looking really good. They're doing final paint coats. They're doing the flooring, the doors, and then next week we're planning on bringing furniture in the building, start setting up furniture. So things are moving along well on the inside of that. So, but we'll be eager to show it off next month. And I do believe we're going to invite the city council that same night too. So you might be sharing the tour with some elected officials that night too. So that's all I got.
Okay. All right. With that, Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you all.